I'm going to talk about the different types of compensation and damages that you may be entitled to in a personal injury case. Personal injury case means that someone else's carelessness caused your injury. Watch the entire video so you learn every single type of compensation that you may be entitled to. Jay-Z helps a Florida injury law firm. I'm attorney Justin Ziegler. The first type of damage that you might be entitled to if someone else's negligence or carelessness caused your injury is known as non-economic damages, which most people commonly think as pain and suffering damages. They also include mental anguish and other types of damages, but for a second I'm going to talk about pain and suffering. Pain and suffering damages are often the largest part of a personal injury settlement or case, and many people do not know how to calculate pain and suffering. There's no exact science to calculating the value of your pain and suffering, meaning there's not a chart that you go to saying, hey, I have a fractured arm, the fractured arm is worth X. Insurance companies normally look at jury verdicts and past settlements to determine how much they're going to award you for pain and suffering. There's other factors as well. Understand that, for example, in Florida, each state has different laws regarding the ability to recover pain and suffering. Florida car accidents cases, the laws can be very tough. In most, but not all, Florida car accident cases, you need a permanent injury to get even 1 penny for past or future pain and suffering. The same is true for mental anguish, etc. Also understand you can recover money for loss of enjoyment of life if someone's carelessness caused your accident. And sometimes people reach out to me and they say, hey Justin, I was injured, hit by another car. This rental car process for getting my car fixed is very, very stressful. I've lost so much of my happiness due to this. It's very stressful. I want money for that. My response is normally in most Florida car accident cases is you need a permanent injury to get even 1 penny for all that loss of enjoyment and any physical pain and disability that you have. For mental anguish, which is another type of non-economic damage, there has to be a hit for it to happen, meaning another car needs to strike you. You can't just say, hey, this person almost hit me. I've suffered mental pain and anguish. There's a few exceptions, but I'm not going to get into those right now. The other main type of damages that you may be able to recover, again, if someone's carelessness caused your injury, is called economic damages. Economic damages primarily includes your lost wages, both past and future, and your out-of-pocket medical bills in Florida, and your future out-of-pocket medical bills. So understand, where some other states allow you to recover the full total bill charges, Florida only lets you recover your out-of-pocket medical bills. So if a hospital's bill charge is $100,000, but you're only responsible for $20,000, you can only recover the $20,000. Also understand that if your health insurance or Medicare, Medicaid, etc., pays money for your bills, they're going to want to get paid back what they paid for settlement, the amount that they paid for settlement, or at least a fraction of that. You can't stiff them. They can go after you, Medicare, Medicaid. You can get thrown in jail if you try to stiff them, etc. There's other penalties I'm not going to get into right now, but understand that you're entitled to recover whatever your health insurance or Medicare paid. You're entitled to recover that from the other side, the party whose carelessness caused your injury. Most often it's an insurance company that you'll be dealing with. One other thing about recovering future medical expenses, I mentioned to get money for pain and suffering, even 1 penny, you need a doctor in most Florida car accident cases needs to say your injury is permanent. That's not the case for future medical expenses. The doctor does not have to say your injury is permanent. And if you can, so long as you can prove that your future need of medical treatment was related to an accident that someone else was careless and that caused the accident, you can recover out of pocket what you're going to have to pay for your future medical bills. You can also recover future lost wages, and you're going to want to fill out forms, your lost wage and salary verifications. You're going to get your employer to fill out forms saying how much you made for the 13 weeks before the accident. You're going to have them prove that you haven't. They're going to put in writing that you haven't attended work since the accident, and they're going to list the dates. You're going to submit that to the other side's insurance company. If it's an auto accident, you're also going to submit it to your own insurance company, because you're entitled to get, in Florida, in most auto cases, but not all, 60% of your lost wages through what's called PIP, personal injury protection. As you can imagine, if your car's damaged or if you have any property that's damaged, you're in an accident, you break your watch, your laptop's in your car, you break your laptop, you're talking on a cell phone, you fall. When you fall, you break your cell phone. So long as you can establish that someone else's carelessness caused the damaged property, you're entitled to recover the fair market value of that property. And in terms of mileage, every time you drive to doctor's office, medical appointment, or anything related to the case, you're entitled to recover that from the other party whose carelessness caused your accident. Again, in Florida, auto accident cases, in most of them, your auto insurer needs to pay you 100% of those mileage expenses. One of the less common types of damages that you may be able to recover if someone else's carelessness caused your injury are called punitive damages. Now, for most personal injury claims, they generally arise if a drunk driver hit you. Generally speaking, the drunk driver, it's easier to prove that if he's arrested and prosecuted for it and either pleads guilty, admits that he was drunk, or a trial happens against him and the jury finds him guilty of being drunk. Some courts have allowed punitive damages if the other driver who caused the accident is on a cell phone, but that's not a black and white. Not every court allows punitive damages if the other driver's on the cell phone. Punitive damages are the exception rather than the rule. What I mean by that is they rarely happen in cases, but when they do, they can significantly add value to the case. I settled a case for $95,000 where my client had a herniated disc. He did not have surgery on it. He was hit by another car, and Geico was the insurer that paid the $95,000. But without the other driver being drunk, he actually she hit my client head on. Had the other driver not been drunk, there's no way they would have offered even close to $95,000. It's the punitive damage component, the threat that we would sue the person personally for punitive damages. And even if they file bankruptcy, if the drunk driver hits you, they're not dischargeable. It's a significant threat, and Geico chose to protect their insured from getting sued and having a judgment permanently against them that cannot get discharged in bankruptcy. They decided to pay the $95,000 to settle the case. The last thing I just want to say about all these types of damages, I nailed a lot of them. There's also funeral expenses, God forbid. You die in an accident or a family member dies that the other side owes you. Sometimes PIP may pay for that if you're in a car accident. But understand, while I said if someone's negligence or carelessness caused your injury and you suffered one of these damages, you can recover it. Understand that there's many factors that can reduce the value of your damages. For example, if you're 50% at fault, you're going to get 50% of your damages. That's what the insurance company should be offering you. If you have a tear, shoulder tear, or just pain, and you're older and the insurance company's arguing that it was old, expect them to reduce the value of your damages by the percentage that a jury would find that it's not related. So I'm just giving you the basic 101 what you're entitled to recover. There's many, many things to know more than what I've given to you. I'm attorney Justin Ziegler. My office is in Miami. I hope you like this video. Please subscribe to my channel. Please watch our other video. We have many other videos with awesome information. Please like this video and have a beautiful day.